Hello. Is everyone doing good? Wow, this is full house.
Wow.
Will you be scared?
I know.
All right.
Yeah, we just want to have a chat with you, relationship talk and everything like that.
Oh, cool.
Hey,
Ask
we
a
love to
question.
talk about that.
Relationship
We
is
all have
fun.
different questions. Yeah, so let's start off with like a general question because you guys clearly have a passion for relationship.
Yes.
What started that?
Go ahead, coach.
Well, I guess
Better not to leave.
when you have something good, you want everybody to have it.
Mm.
I think it's just. I mean, first of all, that's ministry, right?
Mm.
Obviously, you want to share what you have. So I think, I mean, we both, we have a great relationship. We are very
Glory to God.
happy. We're, by
Yes,
God's grace, we.
22 years.
Yes.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So we both have tasted the blessings, the joy of having a good marriage, and we think we knew how we got there. We obviously it was something we deliberately did. It was something we walked in with our eyes open, and it was something we set. By God's grace, we set a goal that this is what we wanted to have, and we saw the fruit of it, and we think, what? Why not share?
Share,
Why
yeah,
not at least
yeah.
share? So everything we share really is really out of our own experiences. So we try to be as authentic as possible.
Yeah. Awesome. Lady B?
Yes, just like you said, we've tasted it and we see that, yes, it's good. And we see the other side, challenges that people are dealing with when it comes to relationship. And we know that really, when you have the truth, when you have the right guidance, you don't have to go through the ordeals of life. So that's why. And we also have learned from other people along our journey. People sharing their life, people talking about, what they've learned, how they've been able to navigate. So we feel that, okay, it's something that, and our role as leaders, as pastors, this is something we need to bring to the table and just share our lives, the journey of what we're learning, because we also want to see other people too. We want to see other people reproduce, have a good life, a good relationship.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that you said that because I have a question. People often say it all the time, like marriage is hard. They make it seem like the moment you get married, life is over. Like you're just going through battles. Like,
life.
yeah, like what is that? What is that statement, and like where does it come from? And is it true? Like what is so hard about marriage? No, seriously. What makes it hard?
There's a truth to it, but the hardness is not to cause pain. The hardness is really to. It's just like the one of the language you guys use now, adulting. Adulting is hard, but really it brings you to a different stage in life. You are more fulfilled. You are discovered. You are a responsible person in your society.
Yeah.
Just like going to college or any trade school, it is hard, but then it brings something out of you. So anything beautiful that we see in life, like the process of making a wine. I've not been to a winery, but wine tastes good, or gold, jewelry, diamond. We love diamonds, like ladies, but it's not an easy process.
Yeah.
So that's the part of it. Marriage is not an easy process, but marriage is a beautiful thing. So it's the perspective that people have about it, or the willingness to go through the process. When people struggle with the process, that's what makes it hard. Yeah.
Well, I think I would say, show me any good thing that is not difficult.
Right.
Right? There's nothing good. There's no success. There's nothing good. I mean, getting a college degree is hard.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Now to get 4.0
Yeah.
or 3.75 or whatever is even harder, right? So I think I would say a good marriage has a price.
good marriage has a price.
So when people are paying that price, then they will say it's hard. And I think unfortunately we are living in a world where the price, people don't want to pay price for anything anymore, right? People really are. We live in a world of negotiation. We're trying to pay the lowest price for the best good. And marriage is one of those things that it will cost you. It will cost you. Maybe we can get into that later, but it will cost you a lot of things, and some things that people don't want to give up. So yes, it's hard in that sense, but it's also very easy or good in the sense of, I think, if you can pay the price, the reward is beautiful.
Yeah.
The reward is great.
Yeah.
The reward, if you can pay the
It's a
price.
good
So I
yield,
think
it's a good yield.
that's just the way to look at it.
I have questions. Maybe 3, but so before you guys came, we're talking about how Nigerian parents mostly have like a thing with or you can marry from this culture or you can marry from this culture. So like for instance, let's say someone, finds someone that they want to marry and they're from 2 different cultures and the parents, well, maybe one parent is like against that particular culture. How does the person navigate? Because I know in a kind like in some type of way you still need your parents' blessings
Yes.
to go ahead.
Yes.
But like how are you supposed to navigate that whole scenario?
I mean, I think it's good to do your best to get reasonable parents. If they are reasonable.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times, obviously, people have stereotypes, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
So I would think the best way to deal with it is obviously, you pray, all right, if you deal with that kind of situation, and try to convince them to at least give the person a chance, because oftentimes the people, even in America, obviously, if you sometimes the good, maybe white person or black person is the one you haven't met. I'm trying to put it in the best way that I think sometimes meeting people, knowing people tend to dissolve that stereotype.
Yeah.
But I would say that sometimes cultural differences in general,
It's marriage.
it can complicate marriage. And it's not just cultural, everything. I mean, the gender differences is a challenge. You're dealing with the marriage, class differences. Somebody raised from a very wealthy family will have certain way of looking at things, habits, certain perspective that would just be different from somebody who grew up from a very poor background. Somebody who is a Nigerian person born in America is different from a Nigerian person that came 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Huge difference. So all those differences can really make marriage a little more complicated, but you can always make up for those by obviously getting to know each other. I mean, which is, and obviously getting to know Christ.
Yeah.
Because ultimately that's the most important thing. The more the 2 people are becoming like Christ, right? The more those differences just disappear.
Yeah, just to add to that, definitely praying about it, and I would say also getting your parents buy-in, letting them know. I mean, trying to ease them into the individual. Like, don't bring it as a bombshell. So there are ways you can. History affects how we perceive things. Experiences affect how. So parents who they've only related with people from the particular group and they have their safety there. So you have to bring them just have to expose them in a certain way to the person, to the people. It's a mind shift that needs to take place.
Is there a specific timeline that's okay before you get married? Like, is there okay, you've reached the 6-month mark, 3-month mark? Because especially with Christians.
So you're talking about in terms of courtship,
Courtship and everything like that.
dating,
Yeah, because the idea is to wait till marriage and all that stuff. But is there a certain timeline where it's okay, this is okay, 3 months? Because some people, they don't wait too long, they make it down the aisle. Is there a specific check mark that we should reach?
2 months sometimes.
Yeah. What if it's 2 months too?
I'll let the senior pastor, give the verdict.
So I would say, or generally, I would say, obviously, there should be a few benchmark, or there should be some general, but with everything too, there are exceptions, right? So you have to be. Let's try and think about it. How long do we think it takes to at least know a person well enough to really take that?
What you're talking to?
Analytical mind.
Yeah, so I mean, no, so know the person enough to say, you know what, we're making this thing permanent, right? Maybe a year, maybe something. Some people might say 2 years. You know. So now, again, age can be a factor. So and distance can be a factor. All right, and personality can be a factor. So if the two people happen to have personality that is very authentic, open, there are some people you meet in 3 months. There's really nothing else you want to know about them because you feel like even in friendship, their life is an open book. After 3 months, you're so comfortable and you see that you don't really see any other thing about them anymore. So I think generally we recommend people should at least be together for a year.
Before they get married or engaged?
Before they really say this is it. All right. So engage.
So engaged. Okay.
So whatever now, you know, you want to marry 2 months after that. If it takes you a year to plan a wedding, depending on the kind of wedding, generally would say that. But I won't. That's why I explain what I'm saying. That it's not so much of a rule. It's based on at least observation that it tends to take about a year to have seen someone in their eyes, lows, in winter, summer.
Every season.
I'm kind of seeing how they change with seasons a little bit. So you now say, you know what, I know enough to go, So I think, so I would say that's my general advice. But again, it now depends on also personality. Some people may need time. More than that. And some people may need less. But I think let's keep the goal. The goal is we know enough about each other to feel, because once you decide to go ahead,
So what you, I was gonna ask what you also suggest, like, okay, you know enough about each other, but also other people, like you have counsel, like would you suggest like other people getting involved too before that year?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you don't want to just be the only person that knows the person, right?
Yeah.
You want your family to know the person, and they are comfortable too, right? Even your group of friends. Because if you have godly friends around you, they can be a filter.
Yeah.
They can kind of let you know that I think you're getting carried away. I think love is shocking you. If you have godly friends around you, they can say,
That's
hey,
a very good point.
in fact, let me tell you, there was a time that there's a lady in Agape years ago that was trying to get married to a guy. Very in love, excited, and everything was going well, and they came to me. They said, she was a lot older, and she was really ready that this is the person we need. You need, there's no marriage success class, but we need a crash marriage success class because we need to get married.
Wow.
So I said, fine. While that was going on, the sister called me, our biological sister, who is not a member of the church. And there are only 2 sisters. And call me the pastor, my sister, I know my sister. Something is wrong. This guy is not a real thing. He's carried away. And I really, whatever you can do, please tell her to slow down. She's naive. She doesn't know some of the vibe we're getting about this guy is wrong. But that happened to be a very, very important call because the guy turned out to be a fraud. Complete fraud.
And this is a good point. This conversation is so good because the time, giving time is very important. And sometimes because we all want people to be married, we all desire it. Sometimes the pressure comes from the church, but from the individual, and they get the church to back them up. Sometimes their family can back them up too. So it's important that we are very honest. And I just had a conversation with someone that don't. I'm always praying for all our single men and women, but I'm also being careful to say don't rush. Don't rush. Let's take time. Sometimes it can be the parents putting pressure that it's time and they just want you to be married.
I want
grandkids. So in this case of the lady, the church was, because she came to pastor was already putting all the lessons together. Let's get it done in 3 months. We were already on board. The family stepped in. No, we don't feel comfortable. Sometimes it could be the family telling you, and the church is seeing something. So we need a community. That's what I'm trying to say. We need a community, and the Holy Spirit will give clarity, but don't hide. And again, don't hide the relationship from both your biological family and your spiritual family. That's another thing that happens sometimes. It could be the lady that's saying, "Oh, I don't want people to know," or the guy, we're just 3 months into it. 3 months is a whole quarter. It's a whole quarter. It's big. So after 3 months, if they don't want to talk to anybody, that's a red flag. So, but my point is, let's get everyone involved in the journey. And another thing you said is, you don't need to wait for 1 year before you have counselors. We don't need to wait for the 1 year before you have. Once you're both comfortable, you want to go ahead, you can get a counselor to guide you.
Yeah. No, you can definitely. I mean, I think once both of you decide this is it, we're serious, we want to move forward. I mean, we don't necessarily need to wait for the ring. I mean, ring is a formality, really. Before the ring, you kind of already knew, right? So maybe you're just saving up for the ring. You want to because the cost of ring these days, depending on the taste of the, But I think at the end of the day, once you know, I think it's good to really. I mean, because it's a serious commitment. I mean, it's a lifelong commitment that has deep implications on your future.
Can make you a married.
So
another thing why the time is good is, I mean, for many of you now, you're living in a community, it's helpful. We don't have a lot of that anymore, that people live in the same community and you see, maybe you went to high school together, you know them, you just were not attracted as someone that you love. But now that a lot of times you guys get to connect online, you don't know so that's another reason to give time. Because some people now, maybe you've been in church together, like Faith, Kemi, you guys grew up in this church, and let's say one of the guys that you were in Potter's house together was like, "No, I want," like, we already know. Right? I'm speaking for them. So you went to Potter's house together, why are you together? Now they're like, "Hey, I never saw Faith like this. Whoa!" So like, at least we are all in the same community. We kind of know, compared to someone that you just found online. So that's why the time is needed, because we don't really live in a community as much. So again, just meeting someone along the way, you need to.
Not like in those days, for sure.
Yeah.
In those days, everybody kind of grew up in a community, a town, an area. I mean, larger community, family, friends. We all have all these group. I mean, somehow along the line, a lot of people tend to find each other within dancing. Or school, you went to school together, high school, college, and those things. I mean, those things are less now than they used to be. People move to, right? I mean, some of you were not in New Jersey a few years ago, you're here now, some of you might end up somewhere. So things are shifting, and with that is ability to know people for real. It's a lot harder. Now, like my wife talked about social media, people can have an image of what people want people to know. Even with all the online dating, a lot of people are different from what they put there. Maybe most people actually, right? So very few people are really that legit. I know they put algorithms to try to, sift and make sure, filter, make sure people have a little bit of compatibility. But again, it depends on how you answer the questions. The question is, right?
So I like that you mentioned that Lady Bubon. Are there some like hidden red flags that they maybe seem orange, but realistically they're really red flags that like people should look out for?
Yeah. That's why the journey of getting it, I would say being very prayerful is very key. Because even as we've talked about, we have a community, have people to filter some things is only God that can reveal. So
Yeah.
being very prayerful in this season is very important. So some things the Holy Spirit will just put a check.
Yeah.
It will be revealed. But a good way to assess the person is just their the way they behave with other people, how they see the world. You know, they may be very good intellectually, you know, went to school, but how do they see the world? How do they see people? Those are things. Are they always angry towards everything? Do they have a victim mindset like you was talking about? Those are some of the subtle things that the emotional way of people is so key.
Yeah.
One of the things we've come to realize is that people can look so good on books with marriage, same family, on paper, same family, same degree, qualification, everything, but emotionally they are still 3 months old.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then they cannot function well in marriage. So I'll say, do they exhibit anger a lot? You know, those are some of the things, you know, do they want to share their time? Are they always, if it's a guy, is it spending 1 hour to get ready?
What the fuck?
I have a friend that takes 1 hour. He's a real guy. He's a legend.
Because when you get married,
He's a wonderful man.
people have time to help you.
Oh.
Because they'll be busy taking care of his anyway.
That's everything. How important is personality? Like in terms of like being together, it's like can this personality be a deal breaker? Like,
Well,
if it's just
I won't
is
say
that-
personality. I will really say their history. I think the biggest red flag is people's history. You know, their family of origin. I mean, when people grow up in a very chaotic background, it's going to reflect in their life. I mean, when you marry someone, you really marry their background, their history.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, which is what I've been talking about, right?
Yeah.
So I think try to really find out who people are. People who grew up in very, very chaotic, unstable background are very, very difficult. They have a lot of baggage. Now, I won't say that is a no-no. Then, let's say I meet someone that has a very chaotic background, all right? Then the next thing I will check is, have they worked on it?
Yeah.
Have they dealt
Yeah,
with it?
because we didn't choose those backgrounds and then we
Yeah.
just found ourselves in it. But how are we responding to it?
But no matter what, that's what you marry. So the person, I mean, I remember I was counseling a lady who broke up from a guy. You know, some years ago, she broke up from a guy. And after pressing her, and she said, you know, it was just too nice. The guy was too nice. You know, like I can't. I mean, like the guy is just. All the men are really men. They have been abused. I mean, all the men are. So she was crying and regretting it. At this point, the guy has moved on. So she was telling me the guy was just too nice. But her view of she just lost her for a chaotic person. But this guy would treat me right, you know, gentleman, but this person came from a very chaotic background. And their worldview, their reverence is chaos, fighting, this and that. Which is what eventually made the guy to say, you know, this is not going to work. And according to her, the guy is correct. Gentleman, doing what he needed to do. But I kept never really receive it. It's almost like he's too good to be true. So I kept trying to break him. You know, that this guy is not legit. I kept trying, and after a while, the guy can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
And like, you know, how much can I take?
Yeah.
So there's a level of that happens in a lot of people who don't grow up in very stable background. If they have not really gone through inner healing, counseling, walk through their issue, it's a very I have come to believe that is the biggest factor to people's ability to, because marriage demands too much of you. See, friendship is great.
Yeah.
Friendship, you can give whatever you want to friends. In fact, most times we kind of have friendship, intellectual friendship that we just chat.
Yeah.
We have friendship that we go out together. We have some friends maybe we talk more deeper together. But when it comes to marriage is pulling from everything. your mind, your heart, your soul. So that will now reveal what is there. And the people's inner life has been altered a lot by how they were raised, and a lot of people, that's what they are dealing with in their marriage. Almost everybody I've ever counseled, I can trace it to their background. So I think I will watch that, and of course I will watch their values very well. What do they value? How do they value God? Do they respect others? My wife mentioned how they've treated other people. Somebody comes to you, blaming all their exes for having done this to them, having done this to them, having done this, having done that, and you know that you're the next victim.
There's one common denominator.
There's one person that is common to all this. People wouldn't take responsibility. For their life, for their actions. You know that you're going to have to deal with this. People who are victim, they play victim in every situation. You know you're going to have to deal with that. I think those are bigger issues. When people are okay, they are generally well organized inside. Every other thing, can be resolved in a lot of
Can I
time.
just ask a follow-up question? Kind of speaking on baggage, but like how do we deal with like fear of commitment as a single person? Maybe there's been, as we talked about today, like past experiences. So practically, when it comes to relationships, how can we let go of that fear of committing again?
Okay. So maybe because someone has been maybe disappointed or hurt.
Or maybe it's in the personal thing, like maybe the person's like the background, the beliefs has held them back.
Yeah.
Really fully being vulnerable
Yeah.
and transparent in a relationship. How do we let go of that as a single person and allow yourself to move forward?
Yeah.
So you have to pursue inner healing. You have to pursue, which I think it's very, even for everyone here, it's important to, sometimes even God is delaying what we are asking because He wants us to work on ourselves.
Yeah.
So once and some of your journey in life will start revealing this pattern. Even maybe your approach to friendships, your approach in the workplace, maybe at workplace, you're always, if your boss tells you to resend an email, you're already overthinking, it doesn't regard me, it doesn't, like what you would have seen the pattern in your other areas of life, or you go to the store, you cannot decide what to, I mean, a lot of times you don't, but so that show you the pattern, so then you have to be honest and ask God to help you. And of course, pray about it. Find scriptures that can help you. I don't want to have, battle with fear. So get the word of God cleanses us. The word of God washes us. And then having someone to just, to help you, like a counselor, a leader, if you feel you're not able to get through. But I think the first thing is to be in that, that self-awareness and now pursuing the solution.
Yeah. I think, once you recognize it, definitely I think you have to pursue help. And I think, don't discount inner healing prayer.
Yeah.
Don't discount therapies or counseling, Christian therapy to help you walk through that. So that's what I'm trying to say, that a lot of times things going on, the fear of commitment is a symptom of something deeper. And that's why the Holy Spirit can help us to open it up. Sometimes the Holy Ghost can and sometimes God can use a therapist to try to get you to the source so that you can deal with it. Sorry, it took a lot, but I thought
My question is more so towards dating. Do you have any advice for young women who are trying to date seriously? It seems like when you go to church events, it's always like it's all ladies. It seems like to be an imbalance of like serious men. So I feel like a lot of women are having a hard time trying to date and seriously court.
Yeah. And where else aside from the church can they meet?
I know you don't want to meet at like a
Club or something.
Yeah.
You guys already have the platforms of online. That's there. Let's continue to pray.
First of all, I think I started praying actually.
That the men
I've
arise.
been really concerned.
The men arise. We're gonna have another session with them. Bring them out.
The fly on the wall.
We're gonna bring them out, but we need to pray that it's that they arise. That they really come out, and arise, and because God says a man that finds a wife finds favor.
Yes.
but that's another. The
I was
enemy
gonna
has,
say.
so the enemy has made it like, oh, a woman is a burden, a woman is a, and some of them have seen. A lot of men are carrying trauma of what they saw, and they're like, you know what, I just want to enjoy my life, do my sports, and they don't want. So, but where can you find them? We have them in church. Sometimes, I think although
Just kidding.
admittedly there are not many, but I think sometimes the ladies also scare the men. The ladies sometimes they scare the men, but we do have them in church. There are not many, but
I think men are still processing the change in culture. I think a lot of men are still really struggling processing the change
Boss
in
lady.
culture. The change in culture that it seems to a lot of guys that the power is in the hand of women these days. So they are really. So it's almost like they're really wondering, where is my role? I mean, a lot of ladies. I mean, before I think it was so easy that men just thought. I mean, you just need to be a man.
Yeah.
You need to have a job, be a provider, and that makes you feel strong, feel good that I'm a man. I have a job. I'll marry a woman. The woman will just look up to me. I'll provide, and men were able to cheat. Oh, for many years, almost for thousands and thousands of years, men have been cheating in the sense that you don't need to be a good leader. I mean, because you don't need to be good, you don't need to be an inspiration, you don't need to be a great leader. You know, who needs to be a great leader when people are just society already made me the boss, no matter what. Every disagreement will just end. The elders will just say, respect your husband. He's the man, whatever it
I
is.
just give him
And
money.
even if he says, they will say, oh, is he
Is he
taking
paying
care
the
of you?
bills?
Is he paying the bill? So what are you asking for, right? I mean, like, that was just a...
But that's not the case
I'm
anymore.
talking of generations now.
Yeah.
Now things
Women
have
have
changed.
money.
Women now have money.
Yeah.
Women now have intelligence. I mean,
Yeah.
women have found themselves.
Confidence.
Have found confidence. And I think that is rattling men.
Yeah.
They are rattled. They're like, so what do I have to offer? So there is a little bit of intimidation going on that is making men staying too long. Some of them are not. They are afraid of marriage genuinely. And unfortunately, you also have a society where some men will just think, you know what, if it's sex, I can always have sex with somebody to take care of that sexual need, and I can just be myself. So you see a lot of men in their 40s, even 50s, now getting married. And so there's a lot of that. So men, we all need to intercede for men. I'm hoping you understand it from that perspective, that there's a collective challenge with men in terms of what is our place in the society. You also have the rise of feminism that is really, especially the negative one, that is really causing men to be afraid. There's a real fear that, I'm going to get cleaned up if anything happens. I've talked to some even men who are successful. They're like, I get married, something happened, the woman takes half of it. It's not necessarily so, because the men can actually take half of the woman.
Yeah.
Because this law are not gender. It goes both ways. So I think we need to pray for men.
Yes.
Men need almost collective deliverance, collective healing, collective assurance, collective revival. That God will actually raise men who are godly men. I think the church needs to do a better job. I've actually started to pray that God, you need to bring men to the church. Because men are there. I mean, we're just watching soccer now. I mean, 60,000 90% men. That's men, right?
Yeah, that's what they are.
I mean, you go to
They have to soccer for instead of the church.
you go to Atlantic City, you go to a gambling place. 90% men. I mean, so it's not a men. There are actually more men,
They do gather.
population-wise, than women slightly.
Yes.
They're just not ready. So I think there's a general prayer we all need to pray for men, because we all kind of need men to be men.
Yeah.
I don't think most women want to be men in a house, all right? That's number one. So, but the second part is for you, because there's always the micro and the macro, right? The macro and the macro. You just need one man, right? You just need one man, so you just tell God, I don't care where you are going to find him.
Bring him forth.
Yeah, God has a man for you, and God is a good father. He loves all his daughters, right? He's going to find them the man that he wants for them, and just say, God, let me just be able to recognize him. And I think just pray while we're praying for men in general, so, and you can also just that posture. Now there are practical things you can do. Clearly, be nice to all men. I would say, I would say, be nice. Don't be a difficult person. I think be kind. I think most men are looking for that. They are looking for kindness. They are looking for sweetness. But know who you are, right? They're looking for confidence, right? Confidence rather. Be that while you're praying. I mean, be in the right places, and where you can meet godly men. I have no problem with online dating. There are Christian ones, right? Just put yourself out there. Maybe we need to start one. Maybe we can even start one and think about it. But I think we need to really have people meet each other and prayerfully consider.
Yeah.
I wish I can solve all the problems.
This is good. And yeah, also even going out, I think weddings are also good places to meet. So hopefully we get invited to wedding, go shop well, and even being shop well is important, because sometimes like you never know. And sometimes you may go to an event or whatever, just going like, oh, I don't care, but just show up well as a confident, elegant, royal woman, because that man can be looking for that, and maybe you go up and you're just not well presented. Yeah, so that's important. But I would say, hanging out, concerts, people still meet in church. We need to getting stories of where people meet. Well, can people still meet in church? People meet at retreats.
Also I met Deborah in
Yeah, there are a few agape love
Yeah.
So
My sister and husband, they met here.
So I think just being present, going to places, and we can encourage even creating more atmosphere where people can just meet and connect. I think but definitely being present, going out.
I'm just gonna ask you a fun question, just because I just circled that related to just both of you. So it's been 22 years now. It's like, what is one thing that you still appreciate that you over the years? What is one thing that you appreciate right now about each other?
One day it's a lot.
That's why I try to make it simple.
It's a lot. Okay, I'll let you wrap it up. I appreciate. My husband is a problem solver by default. He's a problem solver. So sometimes it even irks me, because I'm like, I can do it, but I appreciate the willingness to just solve problems, to step in, and whenever there's anything to be done at home, with our family, with myself, it's just that willingness to be the helper. We are to help each other. He's been consistent in that. So he's been consistent in willing to help and it's not just one aspect of my life, every aspect of my life, spiritual, as a wife, as a mom. And I just appreciate his consistency. Like every Sunday morning when the kids were little, there are certain things I told him you have to do, and he will do it. He will get it done. Now is every morning he will offer me coffee, like just little things of being there and being consistent. Yes, so I
I'm
appreciate
still
just
being-
that. Yeah, you
Just to
know.
get mad at me.
Yeah. So
I said, you want the bed made?
things
For
I
years now, every day.
so I appreciate that willingness to help, even from simple things to complex things. Sometimes even, oh, so where are you working to? I mean, why do you want to know where I'm working? So just to, you know, just, like he just wants to know how the week looks like for me, and yeah, even like you will look into my portfolio. So, oh, you're gonna get a raise. You should put more money towards retirement. Why you? But I do appreciate that, you know, and I see it even translating into the children to willing to help them and guide them. So
Even to church.
yes, and
the
that's
church.
important because sometimes, you know, as a pastor, you can just be, you can have that posture towards the people he ministers to, but he is not just to the church, he's also even to me.
That's for the family.
Yeah, so
All right. Thank you. So me, I think I appreciate our friendship. So I'm just grateful that I have a friend as a wife. You know, so sometimes they don't always come together. They don't always come in one package. Right? And you know, friendship, someone that makes you happy, you can
Someone
talk,
to
you
talk
can
to.
gist, you can say anything, you can crack jokes, you can talk. I mean, some men don't necessarily have their wife as their friend. They have to look for that friendship elsewhere. So at least I don't have to. She's a friend. She's someone I really can't wait to talk to.
he used to get upset when we first got married, but I don't pick up his call.
No. If you don't switch when you're talking to somebody else. So someone I'll call, and you know how you can know that somebody's another
yeah,
person?
yeah.
You didn't know I would know.
I know.
So she'll call me back and say, "Ah, you didn't pick up my call. You were on the phone with somebody." Oh yeah, I'm talking with Candy.
Not judging.
And I'm like, well, you can kind of take and can you hold on and switch and say, oh, I'll call you back.
Yeah.
But I would like that. He said, well, what difference does it make? I said, for me, it makes it. I feel like I'm not important, you know. So she didn't get it for some time until one day I had to write her a long email. Because we tried to talk about it and it was like becoming an argument. So you know, sometimes you try to talk, say, what? It's not a big deal. I mean, at least I called you back. It wasn't like I didn't call you. I was just trying to wrap up a conversation. I said, but I don't do that to you. I said, even if you're talking to President Biden, you can always say, sir, can you excuse me one moment? Let me answer my wife. You know, so, but we're good now.
So I think and that friendship, I think it brings emotional connection.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing it has done. I mean, and as friends, of course, we do have intense moments of maybe arguments, but is not common. And even when it happens, you know, we just keep quiet for a second and just like, well, just move forward. Just
Couple of hours, you just
Yeah.
you find something else to
yeah. So, but it helps to have that emotional connection.
And I think that's also a good way to know. And I've told people
It's a
that
good test
it's
during
a good
courtship.
test during courtship. I told people that
If you enjoy their company.
yeah, you got to really see that the person it's not awkward.
Yeah.
You know, relationships shouldn't be awkward. It shouldn't be we're just I'm just thinking of what to say next, so that there's awkward silence, you know, or everything is programmed, you know. And I think because the attraction, you know, what we call the eros, right? That really the arousal love that you have towards a woman or a man is never constant. It goes up and down, you know. But I think friendship can really be the underlying constant, because you can have a friend for a lifetime.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So that filial part, and of course you always need the agape love, because sometimes you have to love someone unconditionally. You know, so I think it's very important to also look at that, because that's the person you're gonna have for the rest of your life. You better enjoy their company.
Yeah.
And you better be able to talk different things, different varieties of things, conversation of what's going on everywhere. I think it helps.
This was nice.
Thank
I
you.
like this.
Thank you
so
very
Thank you guys.
So I have a question for you.
Also, you have a question for us?
Yeah, this is
Take
a
us
general
turning.
question of how can we help you guys more? Is there anything that you expect from us as single ladies? Let's just focus on single ladies. Sometimes I do think of, I mean, obviously in prayer, or I'm just thinking about a lot of the young ladies in church, sometimes guys too. Are there more we can do? There are things that maybe they want that we don't know. Obviously, there's a generational gap of what people want. We also have our style of, at least I have my style of how I connect with people in terms of I don't want to make young people uncomfortable. I don't want to meet you all the time and say, "Where's your husband?" I'm praying for you. Even though I'm praying for you, but I'm not that, But sometimes you tend to second guess yourself. Maybe they need that. Maybe they want that. Maybe they want special prayer from the pastor. Maybe they want me to. So sometimes it's hard to know how we can serve you as pastors, other than just be there and be praying. So I think it's good to know from your standpoint that there are things that you feel we can do better as pastors to be able to serve you at this current stage of your life.
I can start. I can say like this panel is like a good example, is a good starting point where we can have honest, open conversations in a casual setting. And I remember there was a time when we came to your house, thank you for having us. It was a long time, we had a great time. It was comfortable, it was casual, we were around the table and we just, start asking questions. I feel like when we create those kinds of atmospheres, it allows people to be honest and it allows people to share their personal like journeys and things that they need help with in their single life and also towards relationships. So maybe if you can have a way, an avenue to open this up to a larger audience, because marriage conference happens every year and it caters to a certain group of people. And as a single lady, I want to come to that to learn about like my future marriage, but also as a single person, I want something that caters to my own needs, where I can have my fellow ladies and guys ask questions, talk about their own experiences. I can learn from them and I can learn from you. So maybe perhaps a panel, something catered directly to young people. To talk to pastors particularly, so because we have a way, so that's great, but maybe we want to hear from the older generation that's been through what we've been through, and get your perspective.
Okay, that's I think I can think of a few things out of that. Any other?
At least for me, like just asking how is it going in at least in dating or like relationships, because sometimes I feel like people will come like, okay, so where are they? But you're not actually asking how the process is going.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it gets discouraging to hear, okay, you need to pray more, you need to do this more. Meanwhile, I'm doing all that stuff, but there's no there's never questions about it. It's just, oh, you should do this, instead of asking, okay, what are you doing? So I feel like more questions should be asked instead of statements being given out.
Well, this is not a suggestion, but I want to say that I'm very thankful for you guys, because you guys are actually amazing. I want to say that. Seriously, because I think I was just talking to someone the other day, maybe yesterday, and saying like how, or maybe it was last week, how grateful I am because not in every church you can like go to your pastors and talk about your personal life. Yes, and like you guys are so. I don't know. You guys have a grace because you guys have the best memories in the world. And remember specific things about everyone, even if they're not a member of the church. Like, I don't know, I always just talk about that, brag to people, or just tell them, like, I'm so blessed because I can talk to my pastors about personal things. They give me advice, I can come to you guys anytime, come to your house. So I'm very grateful. I know that's not a suggestion, but you guys are doing a great job.
You guys are. You guys are.
You're making me teary.
Some tears up. Easy.
You guys are doing great. Seriously.
Yeah, I think those forums are needed, and I think it can only come from you guys. To really be trusted by you guys, by your generation. I feel like, if we can help in that in any way to facilitate that, but I think we can help, encourage, and make sure it happens. I think it's something that we can do more
Yeah.
You guys can spearhead. You know, I think something we should do more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this, guys.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was good.
So
It was
nice.
good.